And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day of World Team League WTL 2024 Summer Codes Round 5, day number 3. I'm, of course, host Live VIP, and with me, I'm joined by the lovely people in the chat, and these amazing players as well. We missed out. Yesterday. If you remember, we did miss out with day 2 of WTL. But now we're back with day number 3. We just wrapped up with Sparkling Tuna Cup. We just had a pretty intense half of StarCraft already, half of the day, with 4 hours non-stop of Sparkling Tuna Cup action. But now we are back with WTL, with World Team League, and we are looking to dive into our first series of the night. Up first is going to be OFFSYDE versus... sorry, my apologies, not OFFSYDE. I got a little confused. I did get a little bit confused here. It's going to be Team Vitality versus OFFSYDE Esports. A bit of a team kill here between these two teams. For those that are curious, OFFSYDE Esports is in partnership with Team Vitality. Now officially they are known as Team Vitality. That is Maru, Ryung, and Solar. And OFFSYDE Esports is like an academy team. It's like a sister team here. Of course, shout out to the people behind OFFSYDE to have the passion to support kind of a branch off team as well in OFFSYDE Esports, with Rex, with uThermal, and with uThermal, and with Firefly as well. So here we go, a bit of a team kill here between these two big teams. And we have our first match, we have our first series. We're going to be diving into Maru versus Rex. Oh boy, Maru, of course, arguably the best Terran in the world. I say arguably because, of course, Oliveira did pop off during DreamHack, but I think we can also say that Maru is the best Terran player in the world, is a titan, is a beast, is a mountain to overcome. But Rex has been surprising us. Rex has been putting in a lot of work. He has been putting in a lot of preparation when it comes to these matches, and has been hyper aggressive, hyper prepared, usually with some kind of all-in. We've seen a lot of all-ins out of Rex in this preparation format. I'm sure we have something spicy specifically for Dynasty. I'm here for it. I am ready for it. As we are going to be jumping in. We're going to be jumping into our first game here. Again, Dynasty is predetermined. It is picked ahead of time. And oh, let's go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Maru for team... Oh, hands off the keyboard. A little bit tired. But Maru for Team Vitality. In the top right-hand corner, we have Rex for OFFSYDE Esports. Oh, you can see the plushies in the background. Oh, they're beautiful. Do love to see it. But we are diving in, and this is what I spoke about. This is what I mentioned, that Rex coming into this is usually coming in with some very specialized builds, and we do go for the gold. Not just the gold on the left-hand side of that gold mineral line. It is much more exposed. It is much more aggressive. This should be for an all-in. This should be for a straight-up all-in here. Now, we should be rushing and prioritizing that Risk-Resistant Gas Geyser as well, and I imagine this is going to be leading into a Roach Rush. We'll see if Rex can actually make use of this space and get away with it. We'll see if Maru can successfully punish Rex. It's going to be the big question here for us. Will Rex be punished? Will Rex get away with our shenanigans? Spawning pool is thrown down, but now just going to be droning up. Maru yet to really be too active here, going for his own CC at his own pocket base. The Maynard has arrived. Going to be Maynarding our drones over towards that gold base. And Maru is going Reaper first. We'll soon get eyes on this, and we'll soon be able to apply some pressure. Sleepy Maru, yes, very sleepy. Sleepy, papi, sleepy. Ah, smooch. But there we go, we do prioritize saturation, the gold base is up and running, the Risk-Resistant Gas Geyser is on the way as well, and the first Reaper is moving out. I'm sure Maru, yeah, he's just rallied right to that gold, is looking to check, looking to punish. The Queen is still in production. Actually, never mind, the Reaper actually heads into the pocket, onto the other side. Oh, the creep hasn't spotted, there we go, and he will be able to punish the space from the other side of the wall. Oof. Yeah, drones are under fire. Queen is going to be coming in. So far, we don't get a drone kill yet. We do pull away. Spawn production. Roach Warren has been thrown out. We spoke about it, that usually if the Zerg player rushes into the space, it's for the Roach Warren, it's for a Roach Rush. For a Roach-based all-in. And KDHR just knocking those drones around. So far, no drone killed yet. No damage yet. We do delay some mining. We do threaten the mineral line. Oh, don't quite get a worker. There we go. One drone finally goes down. Not a bad pickoff. Now, the Reaper has yet to scout the main, but I don't think we need to. To be honest, like, again, it's quite obvious what this build and what this opener leads into, so I'm sure that Maru already has roaches in the back of his mind. I'm sure he's already getting ready. But he's going 3cc. Uh-oh. Maru's going 3cc into a 1-1-1. Delayed starport, delayed Banshee production. And here we go. The roaches are moving out across the map. Can we catch Maru off guard? Remember, Maru was quite greedy here going into that third base, which means he is vulnerable. But the army is spotted. Maru, he's now aware of the Roach Ravager. Does spot it ahead of time, and he ignores it. He's going for the mineral line. Cyclones are amassing back at home. Bunker is on the way. And the Reaper Hellion goes straight for the mineral line. Oh, drones are under fire. We do wall off, though. Rex does fully wall off, but oh, there's only so much he can do here as he is cornered. The bunker is going to be delayed. We're breaking through the front door. Rex, can we pull this off? Bunker's going to be shut down. Yeah, there is no bunker. There are two Marines in the back line. We do dodge those biles. Boys being pulled. Cyclones will pop out. Yeah, they focus down on those Ravagers. Ravager's going to be targeted. We're running out of steam, running out of roaches. Maru will clean this up. And cancels that bunker. Shuts down every single roach, every single Ravager. We get 10 SCV kills. That's an okay amount of damage, but we needed more. Remember, Maru opened 3cc, so killing 10 workers doesn't mean much. We have the goal base, we have a third base. We can produce 3 SCVs at a time. We have mules as well. Overlord gets caught out. That does supply block Rex. Now is not the time. It's never the time for supply block, to be fair, but Rex in a rough position. Behind this, working towards a lair, taking extra gases. Now, we could try to make use of this rich Vespene gas geyser in another way. We could, I don't know, maybe throw down a fast spire. That'd be a wild move, but possible. For now, we are just saturating. Saturating our 3-base setup. Okay, Roach Speed. We have confirmation. It's going to be Roach Speed. We're committing to Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager, or at least Ling, Roach, Ravager for the time being. No Baneliness yet. And we'll see if Rex can keep up. As Maru does dip in between the bases. Doesn't quite get the tumor. Not yet. Tumor is thrown down. Maru rotating over towards the right-hand side. Trying to spread Rex thin. No, the Maynard! No, the droid, they line up! 5 workers go down. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. 6 drones go down and we're not done. We head into the natural mineral line as well. The Evo chamber wall does not complete in time. 9 drones falling, 10 workers falling. That was such an unfortunate moment for Rex. 13 drones go down. Not like this. And with that, yeah, Maru has crippled the economy. Maru with his mules does have the economic advantage here. Is going to be landing his third base. Rex desperately re-droning. Trying to make use of these roaches as well. And will take a fourth. Oh boy. Oh boy. Not like this. As we do see Rex trying to reestablish himself, going for a fast infestation pit. Interesting choice. I imagine this infestation pit is going to be for infestors. Infestors are a good way to make up for supply deficits. It means that if Rex can land a good fungal, if he can catch a portion of the army, then he can outtrade Maru even with an otherwise subpar army. So I do like the use of infestors here just as a more supportive unit for the roaches, but we'll see if that's what we get into. Otherwise, we could try to rush into a hive, for example. This creep is spreading. Settling into our Ravager production. Infestation bit is now done. Oh, and there it is. No infestors, hive tech. This is ambitious. With hive tech, we gain access to Vipers, of course, and Vipers, likewise similar to infestors, can also be a really solid supportive unit. They can blinding cloud or abduct tanks. They can help deal with any kind of air-based units as well with parasitic bombs. Likewise, with +1 range on the way, it also feels like we should be working towards Hydra Lurker tech. No Hydroden yet, but we'll keep an eye on it. If we see a Hydroden, then it should be for Lurkers. Before we can even think about that, though, Maru is pushing out. What is terrifying right now is that army supplies are similar, are even with each other, which is never a good thing for a roaching Zerg player. A Zerg player that's amassing roaches, again, this is supply deficient. The supply is inflated because of the roaches. So to be even is never a good sign. Baal's going to be connecting, one tank goes down, but no bailing speed. The bio army stims on forward. We're stimming and we're looking to win as we do shut down that hatchery. Base goes down, bailings are walling forward, but they will not connect. Yeah, the position is just too good. The base goes down, and now Rex, he's cut off from his own gold. The gold base under fire. Bailing speed now kicks in. But the spread is too good. The bailings get shut down, and now we're collapsing on top of the main army. We stim on forward. We focus on the Ravagers, the Queens, the Roaches. Everything falls. GG gets called, and Maru takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. The infamous bottle. Maru drinking his weight in water here, staying hydrated, and does take the first win. Rex did come in with a cheeky build, going for the gold and going into a roach rush, but alas, Maru did a great job at punishing it and at shutting it down as well. Very cool, calm, collected play there out of Maru. Very impressive performance so far, and we'll see what Rex has in store for us as we have our map of choice. We're going into Golden Aura. Okay. Golden Aura going to be coming up next here for Rex. And I wonder what kind of build he has planned. Again, I don't want to say that Rex is the cheesiest player out there, not at all, but usually in WTL, he comes in with a plan. Especially against Maru, he should be coming in with, you know, whether it's a roach-based all-in, maybe 2-base Muta, like just something hyper-specialized to try to snipe Maru. Just because of the skill disparity, we'll see if he can. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have Maru for Team Vitality. And in the bottom right, we have Rex for OFFSYDE Esports. Again, Maru, the heavy favorite player, the heavy favorites, the best Terran in the world. Up against Rex, a pseudo teammate. Again, Team Vitality and OFFSYDE Esports, they are sister teams, if you will. They do have that connection. Wouldn't be surprised if they even converse, you know, in between or even out of game. Practice with each other. Rex did stay in Korea for quite some time. Might still be in Korea, I'm not too sure as to where Rex is staying. Ooh, as Maru is going for the low ground setup, it's 2-Rax Reaper. Now, we saw this earlier from Nicaract. Now we can see it in the hands of Maru. It's going to be 2-Rax Reaper here from our blue Terran player. The goal here is to deny the third. Deny the third base and contain our opponent. We saw that Nicaract struggled to make this work on post-youth, but that was also post-youth. It was a more awkward map as well, where young Yakov was able to save his third, preserve it, and take a lead as a result. Here, I'm sure Maru is going to be that much more attentive with his Reapers and should be able to contain Rex. We'll see. We shall see, as Reaper production is going to be on the way. Again, Maru has the option to just stick with 3 Reapers or commit into 5. It will depend on whether or not Rex tries to expand. If he commits to a third base, that will trigger Maru to invest a little bit harder and make an extra wave of Reapers to make sure he does punish the Zerg player. We go. As the Reapers are on the way, the Overlord will confirm this, as the Overlord is moving in from Rex. Will confirm both Raxes. Is now aware. With this, Rex should stay in gas. Usually the Zerg player pulls out of gas to be efficient, because we don't need link speed that early on. Against 2-Rax Reaper, we need link speed. We need link speed as quickly as possible, so we're staying in gas, and we should be prioritizing that. Likewise, we're staying on 2 bases. We should not be rushing into the third. Is the typical response here. Reaper dips into the main, and we get a drone! Oh, that should not have happened. 1 drone already going down. Good pick up here by Maru. Third base is denied. Rex contained to 2. And that means that Maru only needs 3 Reapers. He doesn't need a 4th and 5th Reaper. You can see he's already making Marines. Maru is transitioning out of this into his expansion, into a 2-base setup. Meanwhile, the Reapers, they do find another drone. Oh, this is becoming too much. 2 drones go down. A nice catch here by Rex. He's in position, shutting down both Reapers. Very impressive. Rex, very nicely done. Shuts down 2 of those Reapers, as Maru was a little bit too greedy. Likewise, Rex has to be careful with that Overlord. Ooh, as it's taking a lot of damage. Rex can finally expand. His third base was delayed, and it looks like this Overlord is gonna go down. Yeah, just a little bit too ambitious there. The Overlord will fall. That does supply block Rex. Oh, supply blocks this early on are brutal. And Maru's going 3cc. It's going to be a 3cc 2-on-1 from Maru. Very economic follow-up, leading into a stim timing. Into a double medevac drop. Marines are amassing. You can see the tech lab on the racks. That should be for stim. For eventual drop play. Until then, Maru's going to be stuck at home. He will have some map presence with the Hellion production, so he's going to have a couple of Hellions to work with, but for the most part, Maru is going to be stuck at home, and Rex is going to be free to drone up, and he needs to drone as much as possible. Does need to drone up as best he can. Oh my god. So my apologies. Does need to drone up as best he can. I was trying to change the Twitch title. As we are settling in. But this is the clean feed. The clean feed. Shout out to the WTL Observer. I believe it's still Moku. Moku is a Chinese Zerg player, and he's observing for SC Boy and World Team League. And Kung Fu Cup. And all things SC Boy related. As the Hellions do try to dive in. From here, Maru going to be just amassing his Hellions. Stim is on the way. We do see that Rex is trying to stabilize. He's just trying to stabilize, getting into his own safety. Baneling Nest. I believe that is a Baneling Nest before Lair, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll have Banelings ready for a Hellbat push. Going into a spy. Okay, that I was not expecting. Sorry, the Lair is done. But we're getting into Muta play. Okay, Rex. I see you. Muta's going to be on the horizon here for Rex. Meanwhile, Hellions, they do dip in. Catching some of these tumors. Liberator into the main. Oh, Queen goes down. Rex having a hard time keeping up. Queen falls. Hellions, they threaten that third. Drone's going down, and oh, do we get a surround? Oh, bit of an overextension. Very nice catch here by Rex. As he does surround the Hellions, he does completely shut them down. Finally, something going Rex's way. On top of that, he doesn't just shut down the Hellions, but I believe that this means that Maru has not scouted the tech. The Spire, so far, I believe is hidden. Hidden at that natural. Despite that, remember, we spoke about the stim timing. Stim is done, and we have medevacs. We're pushing out with Marines and even a tank. This is going to be a risky, a scary moment for Rex. Right now, he wants to build up his resources for Mutas, but he needs Ling Bane. He needs Ling Bane to defend, to hold on. Liberator gets zoned away. Tank getting sieged up within range of the gases. Marines are pushing forward. They do push forward. They dive into the mineral line. And the gas geysers are going to be shut down. It looks like Rex should be able to get on top of the tank, but yeah, the Bio Army picks up and pulls back. We do deny any kind of surface area. The tank survives. Oh my god. For a little bit longer as it's targeted down by the Queens. Mutas are now on the way. Rex holds. Rex holds on. It did cost him a little bit, as the observer's pointing out. Spire has not been scouted. Banelings are rolling it. Oh my god. Nice target firing out of Maru. Does focus down some Banelings. Mutas are spotted. A big catch in Maru. He's not letting up. He scans to confirm. Mutas are on the way, but the tank does reposition. And Mutas, they can't really help too much against this. Gas Geyser goes down. Muta's going for a counterattack. A bit of a desperation move here from Rex. And he does manage to get into a mineral line, but the turret finishes. The turret does finish in time. Again, that was a big scuff from Maru earlier, getting eyes onto those Mutas. And the Mutas are being forced back. These Mutas, they had to get some damage done. And you can see the Bio Army snowballing out of control. The hat-trick falls! The third base falls. Rex knocked down to 2 bases, is expanding towards the north, does have a backup third, was meant to be a fourth. Lings do threaten a run by. And Maru, he's content with his kill, and now he's rotating over towards the fresh third base. Bailings are rolling in, but Bailing speed is not done. A nice spread here by Maru. The split is pretty impressive. We shut down every single Bailing. Ay, ay, ay. Again, the reason why Bailing speed was delayed is because of the muters. Because of that Spire, because of the muters. Bailing speed was delayed. And we're pushing on forward. We're snowballing out of control. GG gets called, and Maru will take the 2-0. GG, well played. I mean, Maru did come in as the favorite player. He is the best Terran in the world. It would have been difficult for anyone to go up against him, for almost anyone. Again, you have to be some of the best to contest against Maru, and Rex does bow out. But GG, well played. I do appreciate that Rex came in as the man with the plan. Did come in with some specialized builds in both Game 1 and Game 2. Whew. And now we can have a look at the rest of the series. Maru starts off with a 2-0 lead. Up next, we have Ryung versus uThermal, followed by Solar versus Firefly. Let's go. I'm looking forward to the TVT. Honestly, Mark is an amazing player. Mark is an amazing player here. uThermal, his TVT is straight up his best matchup. He even went tied up 1-1 last week with Oliveira. He had a very impressive showing versus Oliveira of all players, and he almost 2-0'd, to be honest. Like, uThermal was looking crazy in that TVT. So I'm just updating the title. Oliveira was looking crazy in that TVT, looking very, very impressive. Sorry, uThermal was looking very impressive at that TVT. So how does he compare to Ryung? The problem here is that Ryung is also a TVT sniper. He is known for his Terran versus Terran. So this is not going to be an easy one here. So have a look at our players. There we go. The cams are on. Whew. You can see Game 1, Oceanborn. Game 1 is going to be on Oceanborn. Now, Ryung, he is the Clem. What did we call him? The Clem Crusher. Ryung was the MVP of WTL last season, where he was the one to put a stop to Clem. This was back when Clem was a DreamHack Atlanta champion, and Clem was on fire. Ryung was the one to stop him in his tracks. Likewise, Ryung has taken down any Terran player out there. He has some of the best TVT in the world, so this is going to be quite a challenge for uThermal, but I want to believe. He's not playing random, he is not. He is not. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have Ryung for Team Vitality. And in the bottom right, we have uThermal for OFFSYDE Esports. For those that are curious, for those who are maybe unaware, shout out to the sponsors, of course, of Doyu, Bio, Autofool, and SC Boy. Much love. For those that are curious, uThermal was competing as random at the start of the season for the first 2 weeks. I think it was the first 2 weeks of WTL he was competing as random, and it wasn't just in WTL, in ESL Open Cup Asia, in ESL Open Cup Europe, in all these ESL Open Cups, and all these weekly tournaments like OSC, King of the Hill, for example. uThermal was playing random. uThermal stopped playing random like 3 weeks ago. He stopped playing random, and he committed to Terran. I think it was last week when we were casting him. We asked him, and uThermal, he said that he hasn't played Zerg or Protoss in like over a month. He has stopped playing random. He stopped off racing, and I think a big reason for it is I think uThermal is now taking competing like seriously again. I think maybe like his passion has been sparked, whether it's in World Team League, now competing for a team after a long time, and playing in all these ESL Open Cups. uThermal, he's now embraced Terran once again. Ex-content creator, true. No longer is he a content creator playing random. Now he's turning back into a pro gamer. You do love to see it. But yeah, uThermal, he has been committed to Terran over the past 3 or so weeks, maybe month of StarCraft. Nothing but Terran from uThermal, and he's been looking good. He's been looking impressive. I appreciate it. Again, his TVT is terrifying. So this series could go either way. I want to believe. I want to believe that the series could go either way. We could even see a 1-1 tied score. As for now, we're settling in. Again, it was a Rax Expand out of Ryung, Economic Opener out of our South Korean Terran, more aggressive Double Gas Opener out of uThermal. uThermal going for a much faster factory. You can see the factory is almost done. Reaper dips in. We have the SCV to tank a shot, but we have a Marine as well. Yeah, SME does fall and Ryung holds. It was a cheeky move by uThermal. If the Marine wasn't there, then uThermal may have been able to break that Reaper, but Ryung was ready for it. Does deflect uThermal. Back at home, uThermal getting into his 1-1-1. His CC now on location, but uThermal will be behind the economy, but ahead in factory production. And the starport. Starport's on the way. Ryung still finishing up his own factory. Getting into cyclone production. Clem de la Clem. Yakuzaku? No. That's Yaku, Papa. That's Yaku. I was fun fact. I was going over the Yaku intro the other day. I think it was during the DreamHack cast. I was going over the copy pasta. Good times. It's so nostalgic. The original Yaku intro. It's beautiful. I tried to do it. I was like practicing it when I was in voice call with Yaku, and I couldn't do it. Like I didn't have the breath for it. Like I ran out of breath like halfway through. I was like it's so long. Oh my god. I was trying to do it all in one go, and I couldn't, Papi. I couldn't. Yakuzaku is French? No, Yakuzaku. It's a long story. it's a long story, Papi. It's a long story. He's the creme of the creme, though. You can even do Spanish languages. True. You gotta pace yourself through the intro and know when to take breaths. Yeah, for sure. There's a meta to it. You know. There's an art form to expressing the introduction of Yaku. It takes experience, takes practice. Not easy. Sure, people are listening though. What the hell are you talking about? Don't worry about it. If you're an old school viewer of the CranKy Ducklings from like 2018, 2019, 2020, then you know. For now, uThermal going for his drop, being forced out of the natural. Third CC's on the way for Ryung. Likewise, same can be said for uThermal. Both players are expanding. Both players are working towards their third bases, despite the differing openers. And, I mean, Ryung does have a lead. You can see the worker count. 42 workers to 35 of uThermal. Because of the early game, Ryung has been able to maintain that better and superior economy. But there's been no major aggression here, so Ryung just maintaining that, able to get into his third base. uThermal does confirm the timing of the third with this drop. And very nice juggling, does not lose any of these cyclones. Very nicely done here by uThermal. Does pull back. He spots a third base and he takes his own. As uThermal does have map control with that drop. Scan reveals the third base floating over, I believe. I think Ryung caught a glimpse and should be expanding himself. I should probably have a clip of that somewhere. I think there is. I don't know if there's like an updated clip of the most modern Yaku intro, but like the newest one, but I'm sure there's plenty of clips out there. Tell you what, tomorrow when I cast with Yaku, I'll do the intro. I'll introduce Yaku properly for the first time in years. So make sure to tune into ESL Asia to know what we're talking about. To be like, Yaku intro, what are you talking? You'll understand. Just be there for ESL Asia. I'll do my best. I'm casting with Yaku tomorrow. Until then, though, we're settling in. Third bases have been taken for both Ryung and uThermal. It's been a relatively passive game. I mean, we've seen some gives and takes here. We've seen uThermal try to be aggressive and try to be active. I mean, hey, you got 2 SCVs with that auto turret harass. Was going for his drop play earlier. Nothing major. Thanks to that worker damage, uThermal, he does even up the work count a little bit more, but he's still behind. Ryung on 57, uThermal still on 53. The Ryung still does maintain. As uThermal is being active, scanning the main base. Getting eyes on the production. We do manage to catch a couple of spotted Marines. Very nice. Stripping vision away from Ryung. And we're playing Biotank. No one is embracing mech. Now, we have seen Ryung and uThermal play mech in the past. But at least for game 1, it's going to be Biotank. Do love to see it. No mech yet. Is going to introduce us to the glory of live VIP, the dedication, the glory, the oh no. Yaku can have his turn. We'll get there. As Ryung is going for the double drop on the right hand side. We're going to slip into that natural. Likewise, we do see uThermal going for his own double drop as well. Both players being active. Ryung moving out with his main army though. Does have that triple Raven. Double drop does slip into the main base. Can we deny combat shields? Not quite. We go for the mineral line. Manage to pick off an SCV. Trade against the Marines. We pick up. We get the hell out of there. At the same time, Ryung pushing in towards that third base. And uThermal, is he out of position? He did react quite strongly to that drop. We're going for the disables. We do unsiege just in time. Second tank likewise disabled as well. Mass auto turrets get thrown down. And we are breaking the third. One tank falls. So will the other. Drop back into the main. We're pulling uThermal apart. One medevac goes down, but we're within range. Another tank falls to the main. Boys are being pulled. SCVs are going down. And uThermal's getting pulled apart. Workers falling left and right. He already had an economic deficit, but that's going to be 19 SCVs going down. Ryung just a clinic of a push here. Able to distract uThermal, drag him out of position. And take advantage of him. uThermal going for a desperation doom drop. That's a lot of drops. That's a lot of medevacs. That's a doom drop if I've ever seen one. A very risky maneuver, a Hail Mary play for uThermal. It is his only chance. In a standard game from here, we cannot macro out of this. And we're going for the main. We're going for the main base as one turret in position. Ryung pushing forward in towards the main base of uThermal, laying siege. And Ryung is back at home, but not quite ready in the main. And here we go, the drop does arrive. Cyclones, Marines, no tanks, so we won't be able to siege up. We do get a bunch of SCVs. Ryung, he slims on forward, but he doesn't have enough. uThermal, he stands his ground. Had the bit of concave, had the support of the medevacs. Tanked up siege. But uThermal is camping the main base. At the same time, Ryung also pushing into the main of uThermal. Not having as much success. The tank does siege up. uThermal, can we bring this back? I mean, this Hail Mary play, it's putting in some work. We focus at the factory, we get the Sable on the tank. Ooh, Ryung doesn't push it. The medevac! Medevac is so low. But here we go with reinforcements. Looks like Ryung, he does regain control of his main base, shuts down the drop, forces it back. Ryung still maintains an economic lead, but not as large as it once was. And we're not done as we drop towards the third base. Now it's Ryung's turn to be pulled apart. Cannot keep up. uThermal, we're bringing it back. Oh my god. Tank volleys go up. The Ravens not quite in position. And Ryung, despite the lead that he once had, not there anymore, is taking a fourth. Is taking a fourth base. uThermal reestablishing his third. Ryung still with a slight worker lead. The Ravens survive. That's actually a really important factor here. If the Ravens are turning back around to be repaired, and we'll have them for the next fight. We should have them for the next fight, but you can see uThermal does not want to give Ryung any breathing room. He's moving out. Pushing right through the center of the map. Up the ramp. Vikings lead the charge. We snipe a medevac. Raven's going to be going down. But we only get one spell. But this ramp is brutal. The choke point is brutal. GG gets called. Ryung. Whew. Shaking his head a little bit there. That was not an easy game, but does take game number one. Whew. GG. GG, well played again. That was a brutal choke point. Ryung was lying in wait, and uThermal pushing up a ramp into a concave was not meant to be. But a shout out to uThermal because that was a close game. Things were looking so dire for uThermal. Things were looking brutal for him, but he goes for a Hail Mary play, goes for a massive doom drop into the main base, and he made a game out of it, made it close. As close as he could. I step back away. Calm down, Bobby. Shaking my head. As we're loading in the bottom of the corner, we have Ryung for Team Vitality. And in the top right, we have uThermal for OFFSYDE Esports. Let's go. Again, OFFSYDE Esports, they are up against the wall. I don't believe we can bring it back. There are no words to describe how much light it does for Stark. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We do our best. We do our best here on the CranKy Ducklings. It's not just me. if I was on my own, the CranKy Ducklings would not be here. The CranKy Ducklings would not be anywhere near as you know, even successful as it is now. Massive shout to Steelmold, to Yakuzaku, to Kuro as well, 16 Swords and Seki. Even some of the other kind of like CranKy Duckling or Ashibro as well, and even some of the CranKy Duckling adjacent people like Chase, even Chappie's jumped on. Alex back in the day, for those who remember Alex, she used to cast on the channel. Dally as well, Dally used to cast. Yoda Slim, yo, who remembers the Battle of the Americas Yoda Slim cast with the crazy Yoda stories? Yoda, every week he'd come in with a crazy story about what he did over the weekend. I'm shaking my head. He was an animal, Bob. He was an animal. You know, the CranKy Ducklings were a team of casters, of admins, of players, all coming together. Much love, much love. Big shout out. Whew. But we are settling in. What's the phrase? As we're going for 2-Rack Reaper, by the way. 2-Rack Reaper out of uThermal. Let's go. You know, coming into this game, I'm just settling into this. I was talking about how, like, you know what? Maybe uThermal, maybe he just wants to settle into a long. Oh, the SCV is stuck. No shot. The SCV is stuck. Let him out. Let him free. But it's going to be 2-Rack Reaper, only 1 Rax Proxied, so not the most committed opener of uThermal. It is a little bit more middle of the road. It is designed to maybe get some early game damage, but we will transition out of this. There we go. We set the SCV free. That will delay additional Reaper production as the SCV is let out of jail. Reapers, they do dip into the natural. Ooh, 1 SCV goes down. We do manage to get the SCV. We do delay the expansion. Here we go. Bunker is now on the way. Ryung, can we save that base? It's so low, we force a cancel. Very nicely done here by uThermal. Throwing a wrench in the works and delaying the economy here of Ryung. SCV goes down, Bunker is denied. Hellion has made it out as well, but we get another SCV. We delay the CC even longer here. 2 workers go down, big delay on the command center. Ryung is stuck on 1 base. And behind this, oh my god, that is not a CC. uThermal, behind this, he's going for a factory into Starport. No command center yet from uThermal. This is looking very committed. Borderline the beginning of a 1 base all in. I almost said 2 base. Now 1 base all in here from uThermal. Doubling down, hyper aggressive. Reapers, Hellions are flooding across the map. With this medevac, we can go into. I'm curious what we're going to be going into. Whether we go into Viking, Liberator, medevac. We'll see what we embrace. As the starport is now done, there it is, medevac on the way. With this, we can ferry into the main with those Hellions. At the same time, Ryung does slip behind enemy lines here into the mineral line. But that means that Ryung has less to defend. He has less to defend. Boys are being pulled. A Hellion gets focused down. SCVs as well. But the Cyclone does survive. We hold the line. Reapers, they slip into the main. Workers are falling. Ooh. uThermal turning back around. Getting 3 SCV kills. Barely getting a 4. The 5th SCV. 5 workers go down, but now we've been cleaned up, and now uThermal can focus on this push, and he needs to break Ryung here and now. Now we're expanding, but this is such a late expansion for uThermal. We need to make this army worth it. And what do we have? We have 5 Reapers, sorry, 6 Reapers, 2 Hellions. We have a medevac to drop in, to juggle, to break the lock-ons of the Cyclone, more importantly. And can we delay the expansion? 7th Reaper has arrived. We have the high ground. 3 Cyclones will we shut down the Hellions. Ah, that was a brutal push. Yeah, uThermal has to back off. And Ryung expands. Ryung is held. Ryung expands. Ryung has a worker lead already. And now that worker lead is going to get even greater with that 2 base economy. This wasn't enough for uThermal. He needs more. Rotating back in. Could potentially get the mineral line, but now we have plenty to defend. Plenty in position. I'm trying to find a clip of Yaku intro, but I keep getting distracted by clips of Rufus. Oh, Rufus is beautiful. He's the most beautiful, elegant cat out there. Rufio. From Jug. As we do have our Liberator laying siege to the main. Ooh, SCVs are going down. And there's no response. There's no answer here. 5 workers full. Where's the anti-air? We have Reapers, we have Hellions, we have Medevacs, we have nothing that shoots up. Cyclone production has commenced for uThermal, Viking as well, but they are so late. GG gets called. We don't even get the final fight as we get shut down, and Ryung will take the series at 2-0, claiming victory here for Team Vitality. GG, well played again. It was just a rough game there for uThermal. A very aggressive build, proxy 2 racks into a 1 base all in. uThermal needed more than just to delay the natural base. He needed to snowball out of control, kill some of the Cyclones, break through the Reapers, and just go for the throat. But alas, uThermal was not able to find that damage. Ryung, really nice positioning, really nice foresight to go for the counterattack as well, did delay the push, and it was able to build up into 3 Cyclones in that main base. Was just unbreakable, unbroken. GG. GG, Ryung does take it 2-0, and now we're getting ready for our next best of 2. Even though Team Vitality will win this, Team Vitality, they will secure victory here, we will still jump into our next best of 2. We will still fight for map score and fight for individual player score as well. Up next, Solar versus Firefly. And I'm looking forward to this. I know that Team Vitality has been looking dominant. They've been looking very strong and very powerful, but I believe in the power of the Firefly. I can't believe my eyes. 10,000 Fireflies. Game 1 on Amphion. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the top bottom left hand corner of Amphion, we have Solar for Team Vitality. In the top left, we have Firefly for OFFSYDE Esports. Again, Firefly has been a very hot player as of the past 2 years. Like, Firefly has been getting better and better results, knocking down some big names time and time again. He has been on the rise. And because of that, even though Solar is a more accomplished name, even though he's a veteran of the scene of StarCraft, he has many championship titles under his belt. Solar is one of the best Zerg players in the world. Firefly has it in him to make a series out of this. I want to believe that Firefly can make a series out of this, can either tie things up or even take the 2-0, as unlikely as that sounds. I want to believe. Here we go. As for now, we're settling in. We are going to be settling in here, just getting into our natural base. It's going to be a gate expand into Cybercore for Firefly. Likewise, Solar going for a hatch gas pool. We are loading into Amphion. Amphion is one of the more vetoed maps in the map pool. We don't see too much ZVP here, again, just because of how often we do veto. But WTL has a unique format. The admins, the organizers, they pick the starting map ahead of time. They pick the starting map. There is no vetoes, no choice about it. Players are forced to compete on this map, on Amphion. I'm sure Solar and Firefly are coming in prepared. But how do we approach this? How do we approach our game here? As the Overlord is sent out, does confirm the opener, making sure there's no shenanigans, making sure there's no like Nexus first, for example, or 2-gate opener. Standard builds for the time being, and we should be settling in. Now you can see Solar, he checks the mineral line there. Just because you can mine through those minerals and expand quite quickly, that trying the third base is very secure, just because the opposing player needs to mine through those minerals or break down rocks ahead of time to try to apply any kind of pressure there. Meanwhile, you can see on the minimap that Solar is already mining through those minerals. Very early on, the minerals are being mined through. You can see there, just so Solar, if that base is taken, can apply some pressure. Meanwhile, Firefly going for a Stargate opener. Standard stuff so far. Stargate into Oracle. Do love to see it. The teams can decide which play to send out on which map, right? No, they cannot. No, they cannot. I did misspeak. I think it was like a year ago or something when I said they could. This is not exactly Pro League. Pro League had a format like that, where the maps were revealed first, and then teams could choose. That was the Pro League format. Here in WTL, the players are chosen first. The player order is chosen first, and then the maps are revealed. So you don't know what map you're sending players out on. you have no idea. You're sending them out blind, and then the map is revealed afterwards, and then you have a couple of days to prepare. You have a couple of days to prepare, but you cannot specifically send a player out on a map of your choice. Just as a heads up. The reasoning for this, and it was the case in Pro League as well, because on Pro League the maps were revealed ahead of time, it led to a lot of mirror matchups. We had a lot of ZVZ, PvP, and TvT, specifically because teams and players were aware of the maps first, so they would usually lead into a lot of mirror matchups as a result. That is what I believe one of the big reasons why WTO doesn't do it, to avoid that from happening. Because there are certain maps where certain races are stronger and better, and it leads into that kind of dynamic. So as a way to avoid too many mirror matchups, that's why WTO doesn't reveal the maps first. So there's pros and cons to it, right? There's pros and cons. Like, the downside is that sometimes it can be a little bit imbalanced. Like, we've seen Zerg players force on Dynasty and they struggle. They struggle. So, like, the reality is that there are certain maps that are really brutal for certain races, like Dynasty, like Post-Youth as well is another big one. Before this, you know, maps like Radisson Station as well were forced. But you know what? We, as viewers and as a caster, I enjoy it. They may not be the most balanced maps, they may not be the most liked maps, but we force them to play. Otherwise, they just get vetoed. Otherwise, they just in like a more standard format, they just vetoed time and time again. No. Not in WTL. We force people to play on Dynasty. We're evil like that. For our enjoyment, Bobby. For our enjoyment. We force them to play on Post-Youth. And so now it's going to be Void Ray first, into a second Void Ray. Oh my god, my apologies, I was a little bit distracted by story time. But Lings, they do get across the map, they do apply pressure to the linear third. Second Void Ray's on the way. First one is going to be fended off for now. We're looking to deny vision, deny scouting. That's the power of a Void Ray opener, and we have committed into not just 2 Void Rays, we're getting up to 5 Voids? This should be charged, right? With this 4 Twilight Council follow-up, we have seen some Void Ray charge all-ins on 3 bases. That is a thing that does pop in, but this is a wild choice here by Firefly, as he has not revealed those Void Rays. And I'm really excited to see what is chosen, what tech of choice with that Twilight Council. What upgrade do we go for? Blink. Okay, we're not going for charge. It's going to be Blink instead. Interesting. Just because we spent a lot of gas on Void Rays already, if Solar went for a Roach all-in, then Firefly would be ready for it, but Solar's droning. Winding it back a little bit here, Solar, he's on 3 bases, he's droning, he's getting infestation, but he's working towards a 4th, I imagine, and getting ready for Hive Tech. Like, Solar's playing macro. These Void Rays are a big investment. We need to do something with this. And here we go, we're coming in for a bit of a backstab, slipping in behind the 3rd base in towards the main. And we've seen this before. Can we kill the base? Can we right-click the lair? Oh, not quite. Initially we're going for the Queen. Spore goes down. Queen thereafter. The transfuse just in time. Yeah, we keep the Queens alive. At the same time, Link counterattack here at the 3rd base. Probes are falling at F. They get into the middle line, but Roaches are in position. Solar, he defends. Solar, he attacks. He gets 4 worker kills, and he hasn't lost anything yet. Oh, but I spoke too soon. Void Rays, they rotate from the main into the 3rd. Back and forth, making use of the short rush distance by air. Queen's having a hard time keeping up, but Queen goes down. I'm getting some like deja vu from 2021, like Void Ray meta, where you rotate between the 3rd and the main, back and forth over and over again, and the Queens just cannot keep up with the mobility of these Void Rays. Roach push has arrived, and we force the recall. Phew. Things were looking a little bit dire. Solar did lose 6 drones, and I was worried he was going to lose more, but the Roach push does force Firefly back home. Working towards Blink, we can see Solar throwing down a Hydra Den. And in the midst of all this chaos, Firefly, he has a comparable economy. 66 probes to 73 drones. Firefly is keeping up. This has been a wonky game, though. This has been a wild one. Very unorthodox, but I mean, Firefly, he's cooking. He's cooking, Pat. He's cooking. I'm here for it. I'm also very hungry. We've been casting for 5 hours and I have not eaten, so I'm looking forward to snacking on something in between the series here. in between the first and second match. But for now, Adepts threaten the shade. Lurker Den is on the way. We spoke about this earlier when we saw the infestation bit, but Solar is working towards Lurker tech. Adepts a shade in. Drones are going down. Late reaction of the Solar at the same time. Void Rays. No, they fly over the Queens. Oh, we do pull back in time. Void Rays, they do survive. But they take a lot of damage at the same time. We dive onto creep. Very deep onto creep. Firefly, calm down. Is punished. Bleeds out a Stalker. But again, no detection, so the creep is standing strong here for Solar. More reinforcements on the way. We have a charge follow-up fleet beacon here for Skytoss. Okay. Again, Firefly applying pressure with his gateway-based army, but he is working towards the next step. Should be throwing down a second and a third Stargate soon thereafter. Getting ready for Skytoss. There it is. Second Stargate is on the way, and the third Stargate as well. This is 2/3 of the card list. Let's go. The Yakuzaku. Okay, okay. Beautiful. Meanwhile, Firefly does find a way in. Dives into the third base. Army's out of position. Overlords are going down. We don't quite supply block Solar yet, but we do catch a couple of Queens. Okay, great. Again, great use of the terrain here for Firefly. Blinks in and blinks the hell out of there. Solar was not ready at his third. And because Firefly is being so active, we're getting away with carriers. As long as Solar's kept at home, we can get away with that carrier production. The whole position! Oh my god! Massive spine shots! Oh my god, half the Stalkers go down in the blink of an eye. I don't think that was whole position, but I think that Solar just didn't have high ground vision and the volley was insane. That was an insane volley there from Solar. Ay, ay, ay. And now we're moving out. Firefly is in trouble. Trying to get into carries, but no, we're not ready. Firefly needs more time. He needs more time here as we are moving out. Waddling on in. Knocking down those rocks. Rocks are being knocked down and headed towards that fourth. And Solar has maxed out. Firefly not too far behind him. But the Lurkers have arrived. Yeah, they're getting within range of the Nexus. The fourth base is under fire. Void Rays trying to dive in, but we have Hydras. And plenty of Hydras to support. Lurkers, they're pushing forward. Carriers are revealed, but we only have one. The carrier count is not high enough. We're not there. Again, a very strong timing here for Solar before the carrier count, before the Skytoss gets out of hand. Yeah, you can see the interceptors being focused down. Barely any interceptors, barely any DPS. The fourth has been broken, and so will the third. This was a wild game, a very, very interesting one. A very unique style here out of Firefly, going for, what was it, 5 Void Rays into Blink, into Skytoss. Did do surprisingly well initially, but he got caught out in the center of the map, bled out too many Stalkers, and the snowball had begun then and there. The snowball started rolling, and it got larger and larger, got out of hand, got out of control. And Firefly just cannot contend against this, not anymore. Not with only 3 carriers. And Hydras can deal with this. They start to step forward, they get under the carriers, they're going down one after the other. And Solar has done it, he's broken the back of Firefly. It was a good effort, GG gets called, and Solar takes game number 1. GG. Oh, GG, well played. Solar in a very wild game there. I mean, Firefly had his moments, right? He was able to catch a couple of workers here and there. He was able to outposition Solar at times. Able to do quite nicely with his initial Void Ray push as well, sniping Queens and sniping drones. But alas, he was caught out in the center, lost so many Stalkers while he was transitioning, and was caught out in the end. And now we're diving right into game number 2. We have Solar for Team Vitality. In the top right and in the top left, we have Firefly for OFFSYDE Esports. Whew. Oh my god. Oh my god, Pappy. Let's go. Very little time to breathe as we dive right into our next game. Now again, because, I don't know if you can notice this, I do bring it up every now and then, but because our players don't have cams on, as you can see, there's no webcams, and because we dove straight into the next game, because there was no preparation needed, there was no map pick involved there, it's because this is via replays. For whatever reason, either Solar or Firefly wasn't available, so they did play ahead of time and they submitted replays instead. The previous matches were live, like Maru versus uThermal and Ryung versus uThermal and Maru versus Rex. They were live because we had cams showing. Here, because there's no cams, it's most likely submitted ahead of time. We still don't know the series, we still don't know the results, but the players are aware. And again, we are willing to accommodate for this, like in case there's like scheduling issues with like DreamHack or traveling or something going on, then WTL are willing to accommodate and allow the players to play first. They allow them to play first and to submit those replays. So much love to WTL, much love. Catching up in the chat. I think it was much more interesting when teams could try to predict player picks based on maps and counter each other than basically random player maps, player map selection. I agree. I was a big fan of Pro League. I would watch Pro League every single week. I would I would actually be the one to update Wikipedia. I would be the one back in the day that I would be the one updating Wikipedia as quickly as possible with Pro League results. I'd be posting about it as well and announcing like when Pro League would begin and all this stuff. Like I loved Pro League, and I agree, like it is a really cool dynamic. There's a lot more strategy involved, right? With like counter picking and predicting and countering the counter and all this stuff. There's layers, right? There's a lot of layers involved. On top of that, in Pro League, players were given more time to prepare. In Pro League, it was a week. In WTL, I think it's like 4 days. It's slightly less than a week. In WTL, it's less time because in WTL, right, first the players have to be picked and then the maps afterwards. Like it's a bit of a longer process. And they give teams a little bit more time to select their players. So it is a little bit different, but I still enjoy it though. Like even though I preferred the Pro League format, I still do really love WTL. Like it's definitely one of my favorite things to cast, for sure. I think the ideal is that we have 2 team leagues, right? We have WTL format and then we have another team league with like Pro League format or something. That's the ideal, but we have to take with what we have, and I appreciate it for what World Team League has brought to StarCraft. Again, it isn't just the fact that World Team League has a more unique initial player selection, but also the loser's pick is massive as well. Loser's pick is massive with no vetoes. And the best of 2, of course, the best of 2 format, right? Like Pro League wasn't best of 2, Pro League was best of 1s. So yeah, just very different format in general. Meanwhile, here we go. We are settling in. It's going to be a Stargate opener out of Firefly, going for those initial oracles. Ling Harass is going to force the oracle to spend its pulsar beams energy back at home. Won't be able to harass across the map. Not yet. Not until the second oracle does arrive. So Firefly is stuck at home, and Solar has extra time to drone and to get ready for the oracle harassment. So Solar has some breathing room here as we're settling into Ghost River. I didn't even get to talk about it, but Ghost River was Firefly's map of choice, and Ghost River is going to be interesting here. I mean, has a short rush distance by ground. I would not be surprised. Yep, there's the Twilight Council. I would not be surprised if Firefly goes for a fast blink into something like a 3-base all-in. As I say that, there's a Forge on the way. Never mind. With the Forge on the way, that usually doesn't dictate 3-base play. That's usually for a longer game. Ooh, as 6 drones going to be going down. Very nicely done here by Firefly. We catch 6 workers. Pretty big damage. Solo forced to re-drone. Firefly establishing his 3rd. But again, Firefly with the Twilight Council and the Forge and the Robo as well. This is all pretty tech heavy. So I imagine Firefly is looking to establish his 3rd and work on a 4th base thereafter. And there it is. Blink is on the way. With the Forge, we can get into +1. Meanwhile, we can see just Firefly settling in back at home, still keeping his oracles back as well, at least until his stalkers, sorry, his adepts do stabilize. There we go. Does move out for a counterattack. Solar still droning up, getting his own 4th base. And you can see, as we mentioned, when it comes to the tech-heavy style of Firefly, we're taking up even further. That is a 2nd Robo and a Robotics Bay on the way. We're getting ready for Colossus production. This is going to be for 2 and then 4 Colossus thereafter. So Firefly is taking his gases at the 3rd, which means he's going to be expanding the walls to the wall! No, the wall is wide open. Firefly doing his best hero impression. Lings, they flood into the natural, they flood into the main base. Things are looking good, things are looking fine. Not anymore. That's going to be 7, 8 probe kills. We even get a surround on the Stalker. Blink is not done. Stalker goes down. We get 1, and we could even get another. So much lost mine time as well. Ay, ay, ay. And with that, Solar, he reciprocates the damage. Remember, he lost 6 drones earlier, but he gets 8 probe kills, gets a 4th base. Spire is on the way. That is a risky maneuver here from Solar. But after confirming all the tech, he saw the Robo. He saw the Robo, he saw the Bay, he saw the 2nd Robo, he saw the gases at the 3rd base. Solar should be aware that he's safe to tech up like this. Into Spire. Into Mutas. So again, Solar should be able to get away with it. We'll see if he can. Meanwhile, we have a Ling drop poised to go into the main. Poised to go in. There we go. Lings are loading up. Going for the drop. At the same time, we can see Solar threatening a dive into the 3rd, keeping Firefly's attention at the 3rd base, allowing the drop to slip in. So again, Solar does distract Firefly, going for a warp into the main. Blink is done. We can avoid the surround. There we go. Much cleaner defense here from Firefly. At the same time, Solar threatens a dive. Force back. Spire's about to finish. Colossus are amassing. Again, we're making 2 Colossus at a time. Soon to be getting up to 4 Colossus. But here come the Mutas. Solar did a successful job here at just keeping the Protoss army busy. Keeping Firefly busy. Making sure he was safe at home. There's the 4th base now on the way. This 4th base is late for Firefly. It is delayed. Finally on the way. Again, because of how active Solar's been, we just haven't been able to expand. And these Mutas are going to be brutal. Unscattered Spire and unscattered Mutas, they can end the game. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. Unscattered Mutas, they can get into a mineral line, wreak havoc, kill probes, and just force an all in. And I'm not too sure if Firefly is ready for that sort of thing. Mutas, they dive into the natural base. Stalkers almost get surrounded. Lings going straight for the 4th. Probes are going down. The Artosis Pylon! No shot. We depowered both Robos. The Artosis Pylon goes down. The Robos are depowered, forcing a recall into the natural. Probes are going down left and right. 21 workers go down. And with this amount of Mutas, we can fight the Stalkers. We can turn back. Stalkers getting picked off left and right. We do have to pull back for now, but that's 22 workers. These Mutas have more than paid for themselves. They've crippled the economy of Firefly. We even chip away at the Colossus. Back at home, Solar still making mass Muta, amassing Lings as well. Ready to engage with the army. Solar, he just ignores the Colossus, goes for a counterattack. Hits the 3rd base. And we're entering like a weird base trade-ish scenario, where Firefly's going to be losing his 4th and his 3rd, at the same time Solar pushing in, but Solar can at any moment turn back around. And Firefly has to end the game with this army. Oh, we sniped the Cybercore. You know what that means? That means no more Stalkers. What you see is what you get. No more Stalkers available here for Firefly. Can only reinforce with Zealots. As the Stalkers are diving into the main, Queens are going down. Boys have been pulled as well. When did the boys get here? But the boys have been pulled and we're breaking into the main. At the same time, we can see Solar going for the elimination. Shutting down everything in the natural and now the main base as well. Now, Solar has plenty of bases towards the south, and he can pull the boys to also make more hatcheries elsewhere. Likewise, Firefly did evacuate with some probes, and Firefly can afford a Nexus. He has 500 minerals. We can throw down a base. There we go. Pylon is thrown down just in case. And we do have enough for that Nexus. As again, Solar is going for every building in the bases of Firefly. And Firefly, he's going to be stuck defending that pylon. And the Nexus. Speaking of, we need that Nexus. Firefly is running out of buildings. He's running out of buildings as we speak. We need to throw that down. The probes are on creep. Uh-oh. Throwing down gas geysers, but we're coming in from behind. The prism goes down. The probes as well. Oh my god, every single worker falling. Okay, we do have another group of workers towards the bottom right. The pylon is spotted. There we go. There's the Nexus. Right next to the main army. Barely off of creep. But look at all those mutas. Mike, that's a massive amount of mutas. An apocalypse of mutas, if you will. 40 mutas. Ay, ay, ay. We do snipe some of them. And here we go. We come in for the surround. Lings from all sides. And mutas, they dive on the army. They focus on every single stalker. GG gets called. And Solar will take the series 2-0. Whew. GG, well played. Solar will win it here, and we get a clean sweep. Maru, Ryung, and Solar for Team Vitality go for a flawless victory. 6-0 over OFFSYDE Esports. But Team Vitality are one of the best teams in the league right now. They are a terrifying team. They have some of the best players in the world. They are the reigning champions. For those who don't know, Team Vitality, they are the reigning champions of WTL. They're on the top of the rankings. Difficult to bring them down, and OFFSYDE Esports have a rough showing there. I mean, again, I still look forward to seeing more of Rex, uThermal, and Firefly. They're all amazing players. Just really rough to go up against Team Vitality of all teams. Just a rough matchup there. As we're getting ready for our next series. We're getting ready for our next match of the night. You can see it here before you. It's going to be Team Liquid versus Platinum R8. Oh boy. Is going to be coming up next. I'm going to quickly just set up the title as well. But yeah, that's going to be our next series here. And we're going to be going on a short break. I am going to quickly get something to eat. Going to go on a short break. And when we come back, we will have our next best of 7 between Team Liquid and Platinum R8 Esports. Here we go. See you guys soon. See you soon, Pappy.